key in life is, how do you handle time and change? That will determine what happens to your life. The key to kingdom success on earth is initiating and planning the change. Success, therefore, is always in your hands, because everybody have to deal with both time and change. These two things are given to everybody every morning: time and change. Nobody is richer in time or poorer in time. Everyone has 24 hours every day. So I want you to remember this: your dream is only a dream until it has a plan. You can dream of the kind of life you want. You can dream of the kind of change you want. You can dream of the kind of future you want. But until you wake up and begin to plan to get there, it will only be a dream. So the secret to success in life, I'm going to give you the secret. Here it is. The secret to life is effective management of time and change. The principal key to management of time and change is planning. And planning is the most important principle of success in life. People are destroyed in life because they didn't choose the kind of life they wanted. You were created by God to live life, not for life to live you. And the only way for you to live life is to control life. And life is simply changes through time. And so my admonition to you is one that I hope you will never forget as long as you live. And it is this statement: write it down. The only key to regulating and controlling change is planning. I will keep reinforcing that all during this session. Everybody say planning. Young people, plan your life now. When I was 14 years old, I wrote my life's plan on paper because I began to read this book called the Bible. And I realized that the Bible was teaching me as a teenager that my life will be determined by the things that I planned for my life. And this is why I never had sex before I was married. I never drank alcohol, never smoked a cigarette or a marijuana joint. I never took any kind of substance to destroy my mind. I never dealt with girlfriends. And the reason was not because I was so holy. The reason is because I had something on paper that I kept comparing my decisions to. If you don't have a plan, you have no protection. A plan doesn't only tell you what you want to do. A plan tells you what you don't want to do. Jeremiah chapter 29 verse 11. This statement tells me that God himself is a planner. It says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for your welfare and not for your calamity, plans to prosper you and to give you" what? A future and a hope. God says, I already know your future. I created it. But I also know that I need a plan to get you to your future. Even God knows that planning is a requirement for arriving to a destination. Look at Proverbs 21 verse 5. The plans of the diligent lead to profit, as surely as those who rush into life leads to poverty. People without a plan will become poor. That's scriptural prophetic fact. In other words, we plan our poverty by not planning our profit. We are the way we are because we didn't think enough. There are people, for example, who retired but didn't have a plan after retirement. I don't know. Sometimes we think things just going to work out. Things don't just work out. They will work you out if you don't have what? A plan. Planning is applying purpose to time. Time is present anyhow. Planning is giving that time purpose. For example, what will you do with tomorrow? It's unused at the moment. You ain't there yet. So my question is, what are you going to do with the 24 hours that begins at 12:01 tonight? Have you determined what that 24 hours will do connected to your life's purpose? Every day, this is Myles Munroe's habit, I always plan at least one thing that takes me toward my eternal destiny. Every day. I have many things to do, but I try to do one thing that moves me toward my assignment in life. Every day, at least one thing. It might be a phone call. It might be an email that I have to write. It might be meeting with someone who has information. In other words, you must have your time determined by your purpose. Write this statement down. The best way to predict the future is to invent it. You can invent the future with a plan. What I have become today, I planned it. What I like about God is when you make a plan, He will always exceed the plan. But if there's no plan, He has nothing to succeed. Let me quote something from God, written by the Apostle Paul. He says, my God is able to do exceeding abundantly above, far beyond all, watch my lips, you can ask, think, or imagine. Three things you got to do first. In other words, if you haven't asked for anything, you haven't thought of anything, and you haven't imagined anything, then God ain't got nothing to exceed. If you don't have daily objectives for your life, you qualify as a dreamer. Zig Ziglar win that one. That was a good one. Write it down again. If you don't have daily objectives in your life, that means you know what to do every day, then you qualify as a dreamer, that's all. And dreamers are always the people who sleep under bridges, on cardboard boxes. Dreams don't change your life. Plans do. Proverbs 19:21 says, many are the plans in a man's heart, but the Lord's purpose will prevail. Which means that God has a purpose that's supposed to produce the plan. Don't plan until you know God's purpose for your life. So purpose is the destiny that began the journey, and purpose is the end that caused your beginning. It is purpose that is your predestination. Purpose gives birth to your plans. So if you don't know where you're going, you don't know what to plan. So it's important for you to ask God this year, what is my purpose in my life? Why did you give me birth? Why was I conceived? What is my passion, my dream? What is this destiny you have for me? When you find that, then you make your plans to get there. God says, I give my plan in your thoughts. You know, young man, I look at you today. You're such a gifted actor. And one day you stopped me, young man sitting there. And he said, Pastor Myles, this is what I want to do. I want to create a company that produces movies. You don't need no prayer for that. If it's in there and won't go away, that's what you're supposed to do. Let me say it again. If it's in your mind and it won't go away, that's God.